Hello friends, welcome to the BPSC Junction. Today we will be starting with the chapter number 5, that is human resource. People are a nation's greatest resource. Nature's bounty becomes significantly only when people find it useful. It is people with the demands and ability that turn them into resources. Hence, human resource is the ultimate resource. Healthy, educated, and motivated people develop resources as per their requirement. Human resources, like other resources, are not equally distributed over the world. They differ in their educational level, age, and sex. Their number and characteristics also keep changing. Do you know Pradhan Mantri Kausik Vikas Yojana (PKVY) was started in 2015, aiming to train 1 crore Indian youth from 2016 to 2020. The objective of this scheme is to increase aptitude towards the employable skills by giving quality training to probable and existing wage earners. Distribution of population: the way in which the people are spread across the Earth's surface is known as pattern of population distribution. More than 90% of the world's population live in the 30% of the land surface. The distribution of the population in the world is extremely uneven. Some areas are very crowded and some are sparsely populated. The crowded areas are South and Southeast Asia, Europe, and Northeastern North America. Very few people live in high latitude areas, tropical deserts, high mountains, and areas of equatorial forest. Many more people live north of the equator than south of the equator. Almost three-quarters of the world's people live in two continents, Asia and Africa. 60% of the world's people stay in just 10 countries. All of them have more than 100 million people. Density of population. Population density is the number of people living in a unit area of Earth's surface. It is normal expressed as per square kilometer. The average density of population in the whole world is 51 persons per square kilometer. South Central Asia has the highest density of population, followed by East and Southeast Asia. Do you know average density population of India is 382 persons per square kilometer. Factors affecting distribution of population: geographical factors, topography. People always prefer to live on plains rather than mountains, plateaus because these areas are suitable for farming, manufacturing, and service activity. The Ganga Plains are the most densely populated area in the world, while mountains like Andes, Alps, and Himalayas are sparsely populated. Climate: people usually avoid extreme climates that are very hot or very cold, like Sahara Desert, polar regions of Russia, Canada, and Antarctica. Soil: fertile soil provides suitable land for agriculture. Fertile plains such as Ganga Brahmaputra in India, Honghe, Changjiang in China, and Nile in Egypt are densely populated. Water: people prefer to live in the area where the fresh water is easily available. The river valley of world are densely populated while the desert have a sparse population. Mineral: area with mineral deposits are more populated. Diamond mines of South Africa and discovery of oil in the Middle East led to settling of people in this area. Social, cultural, and economic factors. Social: areas of better housing, education, and health facilities are more densely populated. Example, Pune. Cultural: places with religion or cultural significance attracts people. Varanasi, Jerusalem, and Vatican City are some examples. Economic: industrial areas provide employment opportunity. Large number of people are attracted to these areas. Osaka in Japan and Mumbai in India are the two densely populated areas. Like life expectancy, it is the number of years that an average person can expect to live. Population change. The population change refers to the change in the number of people during a specific time. The world population has been stable. It has increased manifold as seen in the figure 5.3. Why? This is actually due to the changes in the number of birth and death. For an extremely long period of human history until 1800, the world population grew steadily but slowly, and large number of the babies were born but they died early too. This was there were no proper health facility. Sufficient food was not available for all the peoples. Farmers were not able to produce enough to meet the food requirement of all the people. As a result, the total increase in population was very low. In 1804, the world population reached 1 billion. 155 years later, in 1959, the world's population reached 3 billion. This is often called population explosion. In 1999, 40 years later, the population doubled to 6 billion. The main reason for this growth was that with better food supply and medicine, deaths were reducing while the number of births still remained fairly high. Births are usually measured using the birth rate, that is, number of lives birth per thousand people. Deaths are usually measured using death rate, the number of deaths per thousand people. Migration is the movement of people in and out of an area. Birth and death are the natural causes of population change. The difference between the birth and the death rate of the country is called natural growth rate. Population increase in the world is mainly due to the rapid increase in natural growth rate. Migration is another way in which the population size changes. People may move within a country or between countries. Immigrants are people who leave a country. Immigrants are those who arrive in a country. Countries like United States of America and Australia have gained in number by in-migration or immigration. Sudan is an example of country that has experienced a loss of population due to out-migration or e-migration. The general trend of international migration is from the less developed nation to the more developed nations in search of better employment opportunity within the country. Large number of people may move from the rural to urban areas in search of employment, education, and health facility. Glossary: Immigration: when a person enters a new country. Immigration: when a person leaves a country. Pattern of population change: rate of population growth vary across the world, although the world's total population is rising rapidly. Not all countries are experiencing this growth. Some countries like Kenya have high population growth. They had both high birth rate and death rate. Now, with improving healthcare, death rates have fallen, but birth rates still remain high, leading to the high growth rate. In countries like United Kingdom, population growth is slowing because of both low death and low birth rate. Population composition: how crowded a country is has a little to do with its level of economic development. For example, both Bangladesh and Japan are very densely populated, but Japan far more economically developed than Bangladesh. To understand the role people as a resource, we need to know more about their qualities. People vary greatly in their age, sex, literacy level, health condition, occupation, and income level. It is essential to understand these characteristics of the population. Population composition refers to the structure of population. The composition of population helps us to know how many are males or females, which age group they belong to, how educated they are, and what type of occupation they are employed in, what their income level and health conditions are. An interesting way of studying the population composition of country is by looking at the population pyramid, also called an age-sex pyramid. Population pyramid shows the total population divided into various age groups. Example: 5 to 9 years, 10 to 14 years. The percentage of total population subdivided into males and females in each of those groups. The shape of the population pyramid tells the story of the people living in that particular country. The number of children are shown at the bottom and reflect the level of birth. The size of top shows the number of aged people and reflect the number of deaths. The population pyramid also tells us how many dependents there are in a country. There are two groups of dependents: young dependents aged below 15 years and elderly dependents aged over 65 years. Those of the working age are the economically active. The population pyramid of a country in which birth and death rates both are high is broad at the base and rapidly narrows towards the top. This is because although many children are born, a large percentage of them die in their infancy. Relatively few become adults, and there are very few old people. This situation is typified by the pyramid shown for Kenya. In countries where the death rate, especially among the very young, are decreasing, the pyramid is broad in the younger age groups because more infants survive to adulthood. This can be seen in the pyramid for the India. Such population contains relatively large number of young people, which means a strong and expanding labor force. In countries like Japan, low birth rates makes the pyramid narrow at the base and decrease the death rates allow the number of people to reach old age. Skill spirited and hopeful young people endowed with positive outlook for the future of any nation. We in India are fortunate to have such a resource. They must be educated and provided skills and opportunity to become able and productive.